My name is Kalah and I'm with Girl Fight Talk. This is our very special guest and a very special edition of Girl Fight Talk with our friend Claire Tietgen from Bullied But Not Broken.
Hi.
Hi. We're so excited to have you. You and your dad, we've been talking for a couple of days or a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
And I was introduced to you by a mutual friend on Twitter. And it was funny because he was like, you need to meet Claire. You need to interview Claire. And I was like, who's Claire? And so I looked you up, did some research, and I found out that you had this nonprofit that you pretty much started. And not just because you're an advocate for bullying, but you personally are a victim of bullying.
Yes.
Share a little bit about your story.
Well, I'm adopted, so I was born with I was born with something called FAS, fetal alcohol syndrome, which makes me a target of bullying and has been severely bullied my whole life. But it's gotten worse in the past 4 years when people get bigger words and cuss at me, and it's just gone my whole life. And I've been seeing people get bullied, and I'm like, I should do something about it. And so I have been doing my nonprofit.
Okay.
So that's how it started.
Well, when did the nonprofit start?
About 2 years ago.
Okay.
We had that idea about 2 years ago, and that's when it pretty much started.
Okay. So going back, so you started to experience bullying when you were around, how old are you now?
I'm 14.
You're 14,
Yes.
okay. Well, I can't believe you're 14. You act like a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
But
I get that a lot.
you get that a lot.
Yeah.
But so you started getting bullied around in elementary school?
Yeah, near like kindergarten, a couple mean comments there and there, but when it got to like third and fourth grade, that's when it really got bad.
Mm-hmm. What does really got bad mean?
They just getting physical and more people, and they got bigger language, and so that's when it really got bad. So yeah.
And did you understand what was going on back then?
No, I did not know what's going on. Around the end of fourth grade, end of fifth grade, I realized, oh, they really don't like me. They really don't want to spend time with me. So that's when I really got that they just don't want to be around me, and that's when I knew what was happening.
Okay. Well, and how would you feel back then? Because I mean, I've had experiences too where I remember I was in the first or second grade, and you know how like at recess, you have there's only so many toys or balls to play with.
Yeah.
And I remember this one kid. For some reason, I went out to recess late, and so I was one of the last kids to get a ball. And there's this one kid who was there, and I asked him. I said, "Can I play with you? Can I play with the ball with you?" And he was like, I'm not sharing this ball with no black girl."
Ooh, wow.
Right. And at that time, I didn't really know. I was in shock, right? I was just like, what is going on? What's happening? Why would this kid's like 6 years old. How would he even know to say something like that?
Yeah, that's how it got me, because I was like, you guys are in like fourth grade. How do you know what to say that hurts? And so that's basically the same thing. They just would exclude me. They would call me mean things, cuss at me, throw things at me, physically hit me, and I'm like, whoa, no. So, yeah.
Okay, and so those things are going on in like the 4th, 5th grade.
Yeah.
And then, we talked about your story a little bit, and it got to the point where you felt like harming yourself.
Yes. I tried to kill myself at end of 5th grade, end of 6th grade. And then it got even worse.
Worse than wanting to kill yourself?
Yeah. Because people found out, and then they're like, why don't you just kill yourself? We don't want you here. No one wants you here. Your parents don't even want you.
Wow.
Your parents had to pay money to get you.
Because they're talking about you being adopted?
Yeah. They knew before I knew.
That you were adopted?
Yeah. They had some kind of knowledge in that, and I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
So they kind of told me, and I was like, maybe. I feel different than they are. I look different than they are, so I kind of guessed.
Your brother and your sister. Is that what you were saying?
No, the people at school.
Oh, okay.
So my brother knew because he was old enough to know. And then my sister, I'm the middle child, so my sister didn't know. Gotcha. And I didn't know until about a year ago.
Okay. Yeah.
So I kind of guessed that I'm a little differently, and I started going through files and finding papers because I was like, I really believe this, but I really don't.
Really?
So I started asking a lot more questions with my bullying going on, and then they finally told me because they were like, we weren't really going to tell you, but you started asking more questions, and then even my grandparents knew. Everyone knew besides me and my sister.
Wow.
Even the doctor knew. They were like, why aren't you going to tell Claire? And they're like, well, she's just not ready to hear it. So
yeah,
they weren't ever going to tell me.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
I think I can relate. My parents, so my mom was a single mom with me as well.
Yeah.
And my dad's not my biological father.
Yeah.
And he actually adopted me when I was 12, I think.
Yeah.
So I can
Yeah.
And my sisters, we're family, right?
Yeah.
It's family is family.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing, that it's not necessarily always about being, pure blood or anything like that, but like seeing how your dad loves you and he's taking you on this trip.
Yeah, that's a different kind of love because my siblings kind of get jealous of it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, they just don't know how to act because they don't know how I'm going to take it. But yeah, I'm like, my parents chose me. Your parents are stuck with you. So, and they're like, forward. And I'm like, yeah.
That's funny. Well,
so I have some comebacks that are good, but then...
Well, that's got to be something to know that you were chosen.
Yeah.
And I think, as we're talking about bullied but not broken, it's, there's the sad aspects of life, and, we all have those different challenges, but to know that there are people out in this world that chose you, that's got to feel good. And so how, talking about, okay, so you kind of got to this point where you're feeling like, man, I don't even know if life is worth living for anymore. What were you feeling?
I was feeling sad, depressed, and just not wanted. But even though my family was like, we want you, we love you. You're my family, you're supposed to say that. But I mean, it's just another point that, why? The kids say they don't want me. The teachers are like, you were being really weird. You should not really act like this. In a way, you should not be here.
Wow.
So
your teachers were saying that?
Yeah, they were just being unkind and not wanting. And I was like, really? You're supposed to be teaching me, not really being nice to me. I don't care if you're being mean to me. You're just supposed to teach me.
Right.
Not actually say that I don't want you here.
Right.
So it was basically everyone. Thank you. It was basically everyone except my family was saying that.
Wow.
I was like, oh.
And so you believed it?
I believed it because, when that thing, your parents are supposed to be there for you and be kind for you, that's family. But when other people say that they don't really know you and they're like, I don't know you, but I don't want you here, it kind of hurts.
And it's the power of words.
Yeah. The words mean everything. They're like, oh, it's just words. No. The words are what you are saying. Yeah. It really hurts.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
So you how did you get out of the place where you felt like, okay, this life isn't worth living anymore? How did you get to the place where you're like, you know what, no, I do want to be here?
Actually, I was still there at that point. My parents saw diaries and notes, and it was like, I'm trying to kill themselves, and so they asked for help. They asked a psychologist. They're like, you need to get her in something that she loved to do. And I love sports. So they got me in jiu-jitsu, where I found this coach who absolutely loved me at the very beginning. Everyone was so welcoming and comforting. And the first practice, I knew that I needed to be here for a reason. Like my coach, we started talking about the Olympics on the first day.
Wow.
And so I was like, whoa, he has actually confidence in me that I can do something with my life. So that's when it's changed.
He gave you a vision.
Yeah, he gave you a vision that she needs to be here for a reason, that you can change people's lives, and you can change other people's perspective. Yeah.
And that for you to believe that you had something to offer.
Yeah, that I am here for a reason.
Wow. So that's pretty powerful that you had a coach, a man that you didn't even know before.
Yeah, I didn't,
who
believed in me when I didn't believe in myself.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Austin Ford.
And what gym is he a part of?
Brass Boxing.
In what city?
Kansas City.
All right.
Yeah,
good.
you should look him up. He's a really cool dude.
That's good. That's good. Okay.
And I've known him for 4 years now, and he has kids of his own, and we all play sports together. My sister still does jiu-jitsu, my brother now, and then my dad. So everyone's doing it except me. I took a little break from it and find out, I need to do something else with my life besides jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
But now I'm realizing that that might be a mistake.
Oh, you want to do it again?
Maybe. It's my first love. I love it doing it, so it makes me happy.
And by you doing jiu-jitsu, it got you into the sport of MMA.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so then tell me the whole story because Claire, you've met Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I've met her.
I mean, we're here in Las Vegas
Yes,
to watch Ronda Rousey, compete to try to get her belt back.
Yeah.
And you met her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us that whole story, because that's crazy.
I decided to put my story on YouTube to try to get people to, I don't know what we're thinking. We're thinking like, oh, we should get this out. That's a really good story. So we got it out, so we put it on YouTube. And so the UFC found it. And the UFC, Dana White found it.
Wow.
And so he started crying, and it was like, Ronda, come here. They are really close.
Yeah.
So that's how it really got started. Ronda she started crying, and she was like, dude, I need to meet this girl. She seems awesome. And so they called me out. They sent me here to Vegas, and I love it here. And they had her fight Kat
Zingano.
No.
Yep.
Kat Gonzano. And so I saw that for the first time. Then I watched her fight. Of course, it happened like that, and I was on my phone. I was like, wait, what just happened?
Yep.
And so...
You can't blink with Ronda.
No, you cannot. And so after that, it was she celebrated her birthday, because her birthday was a couple months earlier, and she was like, I'm not going to have cake, I'm training, blah, 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 blah. And so we went to have dinner with her and her family. So we had dinner, I met her family. Her family's super awesome. And then we had wings, because that's her tradition.
That is her tradition.
After a fight, we always have wings. Well, if she loses, she doesn't have wings. But if she wins, she has wings. And so we went there. I cut her cake. I had cake. And
you got to cut Ronda Rousey's birthday cake?
Yeah.
What?
I had the first piece, and I was like, hey, can I cut that? And they're like, sure, go ahead. And I was like, yes! So I had the first piece, and then it went from there. They just started, they're like, you should come back. You should watch another fight. And so that's why we're here again, to watch her fight again.
Yeah.
And that was a year ago.
Yeah. And how did that change? I mean, you go from, a year maybe prior, being in this place where you're like, I don't feel like I have any purpose here.
Yeah.
To, starting jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And finding a passion.
Yeah.
And then putting that passion out there for others to see.
Yes.
And then cutting Ronda Rousey's birthday cake.
It happened within a year of all of that. So I was like, whew. And then we started my charity, and then I met you, and then here's now.
And we're here.
I mean, a lot more people, a lot more celebrities.
Yeah.
I'm going to more things, and just being a kid, but being a little bit older and realizing there's more to life than school and mean people.
Right.
So that's what my parents wanted to do. They wanted to give me an environment that I don't have all that trash and all those people being mean. So
and surrounding yourself with positivity.
Yeah, positivity and self-esteem. Yeah, before I had no self-esteem. I was wearing black, didn't care what I looked like. My grades were horrible. I was not even going to pass the grade that I was in. And so that all changed, and I'm in a good place now. I'm happy now.
That's good.
And so now I'm doing things that I couldn't even imagine me doing.
Right.
So it's fun.
Which, I mean, and that's kind of the theme of this trip, right?
Yes.
Is resilience.
Yes.
We've been talking about that.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a long time.
Right? And it's this idea of learning and knowing how to fight.
Yeah.
Right? And it's funny because here, Girl Fight Talk, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has to have resilience.
Yeah.
And you were asking me, you were like, well, who else has resilience? I know Ronda Rousey has it. I know I have it, right?
Yeah.
And what do you feel like resilience is to you?
I feel like resilience is basically a bad place in life that you overcome it, that you have a due to life that you need to do. And I had a bunch of resilience. I still do. Ronda Rousey still does. like a lot of people have resilience that I haven't met yet, and I'm excited to meet them and find their resilience story. And
yeah. And I mean, honestly, I think if there is no resilience, there's no motivation to move forward. And that's what you've done.
Yeah.
You've done that. You're an
I
amazing...
had a lot of resilience, like, before. I had a lot of, like, 8 years of just, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
Then I rose above it and became this awesome person. So, yeah.
You are. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And so what do you want your peers, right? Because, I mean, you've shared with me that your friends at school have attempted suicide.
Yeah.
Some of them have successfully taken their own lives, which is
horrible. And they were young, like
how old?
14 and 16.
Wow.
And they just one was drug overdose, and one was just people, like, physically, doctors telling me you cannot do your dream. So she thought there was no ending, so she shot herself. In a few hours, within a few hours of them saying that, she shot herself with her dad's gun. Her dad used to be a cop.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's been over a year since that happened. And I was like, God. And I knew her.
Wow.
And I met her like 6 months. So I met her 6 months later. She died.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. And then this guy was another friend with a friend. So he's a friend with a friend. And he was 15 and he died of drug overdose. And I was like, even though I'm sad, but he was not a nice guy. But I even knew him. I knew him. Mm-hmm. So kind of that even hurt worse that I knew him.
Right.
So
yeah. This has been 2016 has been a year where I've seen that happen quite a bit. This
has been a big, huge year that I'm like, things have gone good, bad, horrible.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for a new year. Like,
so it's such a complicated thing.
Yeah.
Right? This idea of figuring out self-worth.
Yeah.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Things to help fix this, suicide being the solution. We don't want suicide to be the solution.
No, it's not.
But
you can find other loopholes to that. I did. So.
Yeah, and exactly. And so with resilience, what do you feel like you want to share, at least with your peers, right? Yeah. About how you feel like, or how important you feel like resilience is, fighting back, even just the mental, because it's an inner battle.
Yeah, it's
a lot. Most of the time, it's
you got to be stronger than yourself.
Yeah.
You got to be really stronger for yourself.
Right. We'll let this thing pass by. Keep going. You got to be strong.
Yeah, you got to, And so, I want them to know that you got to be way more stronger than you think you are. Mm-hmm. And it's really important that you need to focus, because they just need to know that you are worth something. Even though you don't feel it, there are a lot of people that love you in this world that need to tell you more than they do. So
yeah. And even just your friends. I think, it's interesting. We were talking about just how it takes, usually there's more than just one person that's involved in bullying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
it's not just the issue of, it's not just the problem of the person, the victim of being, of bullying.
There's more than one person in a solution.
Usually there's an audience.
Yeah.
Usually there are people who are, they might not be saying anything, but they're silent supporters.
Yeah.
Right?
And when I was getting bullied, there were 15 kids against one. Ugh. And I was like, oh God. But then there were people besides them watching, and I was like, you're not going to do anything about this? And they're like, well, I'm not.
Wow.
I can't do this. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm done. You cannot do this. So I started fighting back for myself, and then fighting for my friends. But then my friends just, we cannot handle that you are fighting back for yourself. And I'm like, okay, fine. You're offering me drugs? Yeah, not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I love you guys, but I also hate you. So I'm not going to be friends with you if you're offering me drugs and not being a good friend and supporting me. So I was like, I'm done. We're being friends. So
you've got to find friends who are willing to fight for you.
Yeah, and willing to be your friends, because they're not my friends. They're offering me drugs.
Yeah, no.
They're like, you should go out with this guy. He's really nice. Yeah, no, he's a drug dealer. And I'm like, no. I'm 14. You should not be doing this.
Yeah, no.
No.
That's not a good idea.
And so I'm like, I'm done. So
Yeah.
I left them. I left that school and be in a good place in a couple of days. I'll be in school.
Good.
So there's this trip, and then I'll be in a different school with different environment. See if that works, and if it doesn't, bye.
Yeah.
I'll leave it all together.
Right. Well, and I think that's the most important thing is for you to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, especially your own, mental stability and all those things. It's important, right? And so, okay, resilience. And we know that we're tying in your story with resilience, and we know that, what Rhonda has gone through, right?
Yeah.
With her own...
Yeah, she is one of the strongest women I know in this entire world.
Wow.
Oh my God. Even Dana White said that at the press conference. She's like, she's done a lot for this company, but I can give her a couple favors, and there you go. So she's strong. She can do it.
Yeah.
She's overcoming it like I did.
Yeah.
And I still am,
Right.
because people are still mean.
Right.
But I think it's the way I view it.
Exactly. And so, I mean, who do you think is going to win? That's kind of a redundant question maybe at this point.
That's a really redundant question. But, I mean, it's going to be one hell of a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's going to be one of the strongest fights, I think, in UFC history.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say I'm going to go for Rhonda because I love her and I met her and I think she can do it. But Amanda is a really good competitor. She's been doing it for a long time. She has a lot of skill. She is good.
Yeah.
But I think Rhonda is a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I think she can get the belt back. It's gonna be a good fight. So you should not miss it.
Right.
You cannot miss it. It's a really good fight.
Yeah, and I think that her story, I mean, she talked about, as it's very commonly known, her own struggle with those inner demons, right?
Yeah.
And whether or not she wins, honestly, I don't think is the biggest point in her resilient story. It's the simple fact that she didn't
succeed. She didn't kill herself. She didn't be like me. She's being exactly like who I'm trying to become, a very successful and well-known woman. So I hopefully, even if she doesn't win, she still made it.
And she came back.
Yeah, she came back.
She didn't give up.
She had a comeback. So
Exactly. So, well, hopefully we'll get to kind of tie this whole story in a beautiful knot by just sharing about how amazing her success is, at the end of this whole story. And we're going to get to talk about, hopefully we'll get to meet up, honestly, at the end of this event, right?
Yeah.
And kind of...
Yeah, hopefully this is not our last meeting, because hopefully you've come for... in Kansas City. I hope you come for the Invicta fight.
Yep.
It's going to be one good fight.
Right. Yep.
Invicta's always a good...
Invicta's amazing.
Yeah, it's
whenever
like,
they're women fighters,
yeah,
it's always
I'm
going
like,
to be amazing.
It's going to be so awesome.
Okay.
But I hope, and then you come to Kansas City, or I come to Colorado.
Come to Colorado.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love it there.
Yep.
I've been there so many times. Skiing, it's so good. But I haven't been to Denver. I've been to...
All right. We'll show you a good time when you come.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, well, Claire, I just personally want to say I'm very inspired by your story. I think I'm grateful that there are young women, young adults like you who, kind of are a living example and a living testimony, honestly, of what it means to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes in life, it's going to feel like you're your biggest fan, and it takes a lot of self-confidence to do that. So, and I really want to lift up even your family. Yeah. Because just speaking to your dad.
They've been there since day one, and they haven't given up on me, and I'm like, yay! A group of people that haven't given up on me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And to see how much they love you. Yeah. And they support you in your dreams. And
they travel me. They book me flights all over.
Yep. They feed you.
Yeah, they feed me. Good, I'm not stranded like Venice.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
We still have the fights to watch.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, we're not even halfway
We're like halfway through this trip. So, but we're glad. I'm so grateful we got to meet finally. Yeah. And that we got to have you on my show. Yeah. So I'm so excited. Yeah. Tell us all of the different ways that we can find out more about Bullied But Not Broken. Like your social media, your website.
will put it in the description, will you?
I will.
Okay, so you can find me that way on my website, bulliedbutnotbroken.com or e3scholarshipfund.org.
Yep.
And then, yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, all of that.
Yep.
Just Claire Tietgen.
Claire Tietgen.
And I'll get back to you if you want to
Reach
meet
out.
up or reach out or do something or talk, or if you need advice, just look me up.
That's
I'll
awesome.
find you.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I'm so grateful we got to
Yeah.
have this time. All right. Let's go watch the fights.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm so excited.
All right.
Yeah.